Jordan Bianchi, the Athletic, you have experience here, obviously, on 2004, that kind of thing. Looking at the track then versus now, how is it the same? How is it different?
Yeah, I think much different. It's I was here 02, 03, 04, and then 2012, and all of those, very different. Those were much more similar, especially the first 3 years. 12 was a little different. I remember the track that sealed it and done some different things then, but this repave is completely different. I was watching some of truck practice, and the lines are, pretty connected to the bottom still, and you move up some, but it looks you probably lose a bit of speed. So it'll be interesting with the weather though, and 87, 88 degrees tomorrow. I think that'll change kind of how the track feels and some of that stuff a lot. So yeah, hopefully it turns into a really good repave track.
You're joining a Richard Childress racing team, had a lot of speed in its race cars this year with Austin or Jesse. What are your expectations and kind of managing that?
Well, it's really, it's great to see those guys running well this year. They were last year as well, but to start the season really strong, and they've been up there each race. So I think for myself, just to be away from this for a while and come back with an opportunity and with a really good team, a solid team that races, not every weekend, but they do race a lot. The 33 team does. So it's a team that's put together, not just for myself, it's for others throughout the whole year. So it's, just a good opportunity to get back in a really good car, good organization, strong team, and get to go out there and see what we can do.
We're going to go to the back, the right-hand side.
Scotty Sprinkle, Raceface Digital. Outside of the test we had here in January, I'm curious, what have you been doing personally to kind of get ready and prepare for this weekend?
I've been able to do some of the simulator stuff, whether it was at GM or at RCR, with the different ones, which has been really nice. I didn't do a whole lot of that, years back, but I've been able to this time around, and I feel like it's all much closer. It was nice to do it after we tested, and just to kind of see the similarities, how close it all was, and I feel like it's been pretty good. So hopefully that can translate and help a good bit here. And then other than that, just trying to really think about how the races play out, how the pit road stuff, restarts, practice, all the little things that go into a race weekend in a NASCAR level that gets so when you're doing it all the time, it just happens. You don't necessarily have to think about that stuff a lot. And for me, I'll have to think about every one of those, little things that happen quickly throughout a race or the race weekend. And so just trying to be as prepared as I can, to not screw any of that, that little stuff up that'll cost you a lot.
Bob Pipers, Fox Sports. I have a couple. The first is that the Cup Series has gone back to tracks that you've raced at, such as Nashville, they hadn't gone to for a while, as well as like North Wilkesboro and obviously race Bowman Gray. Was there any part of you that was jealous that they're getting to do that and you weren't?
No. I mean, I've watched it and, like that side of it. I only watched Wilkesboro and Bowman Gray and those places in the past. It was over by the time I, came into the sport. But they've been really good to watch. Cool to go back to some of the venues that may not be as big of places, but the history, I think, of NASCAR and great racing is at some of those tracks. So Rockingham being one of those as well. So it's I like where some of that stuff seems to be headed, and the races, the shows that the teams and drivers have put on.
And do you feel, would you like to see Cup race back here? Or I know you race at places all over the country that probably aren't as, you race at a lot of grassroots places throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I think a Cup race could probably be really good here. Like it used to be. I used to enjoy watching it or being part of it the 1 year I was. And so it could be a great race here. I just was thinking on the way down this morning, and there's just so many racetracks, and I'm pretty sure this might have been why it kind of went away. There's so many racetracks within a pretty close span, like maybe 6 or 7, so understandable at the time. I wanted to get to California or Vegas, some of those tracks more. But I think this could be a really good track for NASCAR, and it's definitely going to be good for trucks and Xfinity this weekend.
Matt Weaver, Sportsnaut. I would be remiss if we didn't have this press conference and not talk about your sprint car season, because this looks like a team that's capable of winning multiple races this year. So for one, how excited are you for the season, and how important would winning that first 410 race be for you?
It would be good. It's been, at a national level, it hasn't happened, and I've won a lot at other levels. But yeah, to do pretty much the last 3 years, that's what I've done. I've been racing a lot of sprint car races, and they've all been 98% of them have been either World of Outlaws or high limits. And that's, so you're going to different tracks all over the country, different surfaces. It all changes, and that's the hardest part about any type of racing, let alone sprint cars. So I've chose to do that because to me, that's the toughest place to be. And I feel like we just keep getting better and getting closer and closer. This year we've been close so far, and still have a lot of races to go. We're going to race next week. Next Saturday, I think, will be our next night back, and then it gets very busy in May and June, July and August. So, we're really focused on that after this weekend, and wanting to, start winning and running up front more often for sure is our goal.
And then I'm sure you're proud of your stock car career and what you've been able to do. But I'm curious, when you look at like what Kyle Larson is doing right now and being allowed to race whatever he wants, do you ever think about how you and Tony Stewart and guys of that ilk, how much of their career they left on the table because you were not able to do what he's able to do now? Do you envy that a little bit?
I mean, I do a little bit, and I see it, and he does a great job at it, and he's the best at it. He's so good at being able to just get into any type of car and just be very fast right off the bat. That's hard to do, and he's very good at it. So he's proved that it doesn't hurt him when he comes back here or goes there, wherever it may be. So it's good that he gets to do that. When I did it, I did race more sprint cars early on. And then when I went to Hendrick, I did the first year, and then they wanted me to slow down. And so I just was like, okay, I'll just focus on NASCAR. And then it was like, just do NASCAR. And that's just kind of how that ended there. And I think it was all right. I think certain situations it's fine to do that. In other situations, like what Kyle's doing is great too. So just kind of whatever works, for you and your team and your sponsors. There's a lot of people involved. So yeah, just making sure it works for everybody. And I think it works for everybody what Kyle has going on, so I like watching it.
ChrisKnightGetChance.com. Welcome back, Kasey. What's realistic tomorrow?
I don't know. For me, I want to race every lap. I want to be very competitive. I feel like to be out as long as I have and come back and just do everything perfect and win would be very tough. These guys do it every weekend. They're very good at it, and they put a lot of time into it year after year. So I think that would be very tough to do, but I think we can be very competitive, running the top 10 throughout the race, and who knows what happens after that. We also have practice today to kind of see where we stack up. So I think it's pretty open, but I do want to just really enjoy this weekend, race hard, get every single thing I can out of the car, and enjoy it with the team, because these guys have put a big effort in for me to come back to this. So I'm very lucky to have such an opportunity that I do this weekend. I think we can run really well.
If the opportunity allow, would you consider doing other races?
Yeah, I mean, this has been as kind of excited, happy I've been this whole year, whether it's sprint car racing or pavement racing in a little while when it comes to racing. So I've been really looking forward to this race, and I just really thought, just see how it goes, see if things click, if it makes sense, if I, feel like I've been doing it for 15 years, then yeah, I mean, maybe we could get another one in later in the year. If it's difficult, then I don't know, maybe one and done. So I just have to pay attention, see how it goes, and go from there is my thought.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Kasey, when did you start allowing yourself to get the itch to go stock car racing again? I know listening to your interview on Dale Show, it took a minute to kind of just detach for a bit. At what point did you kind of allow yourself back into the circle? Was that before or after the 75 greatest drivers acknowledgement?
Yeah, I would say definitely after. I was really happy with what I had going on and not being too involved in the NASCAR deal. And it feels like once you get out, I got out on my own, but as I did that, I did for my reasons, and it's like you're just kind of gone. Like it's not, you still see people or talk to people once in a while, and it feels good when you do run into somebody that you've seen at the track for so many years. But yeah, you're just kind of out. Like it keeps going, and it goes just fine without you. So yeah, it's kind of like, all right, well, I'll just do my thing, and you find other things to do, and that's been good. But yeah, over the last probably year, I've been watching more and more, and yeah, wanting to kind of see what it was like again and get those feelings that I had for so many years. So that's why I put this together. I did all this on my own to like get back here and do this race, and was very fortunate to get Hendrick cars and caravan trailers, curb records behind me, and then RCR wanted to do it with us. So it's been a really cool partnership, but we put some work in to make it happen. Yes.
Steven Stump, Frontrush.com. Kasey, with coming so close to winning your first Cup race here and not being able to have a chance to try and win it again, did Rockingham's removal in 04 kind of make it to where you just wanted to try and race anytime you could, whenever it was on the schedule here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one race that has kept me very interested in Rockingham. Because those cars had a lot of power then, and the track was so slippery that was that was tough what was going on as the tires would wear out so quickly on those at that particular race. So yeah, I've always just enjoyed it since then. But my first race was here in 2002. I'm pretty sure it was my first Busch Series race at the time, and that was in the Channel Lock car. And from that point on, I thought this was, and this is also the first place I ever tested in a stock car. And so I've always really enjoyed it since that very first lap that I made here.
And then with the repave, did driving this track again, did it almost feel like kind of starting over from scratch, or was there still some parts of the old track that you could feel and get the hang of?
Yeah, you could see it, you could feel it. A lot of the same characteristics as far as the bumps and where they were and how the car moved around. It just seemed like the pace was up around the entire racetrack. Less off throttle time, a lot more wide open throttle time, but yeah, it still felt like Rockingham.
Jared Haas with FrenchStretch.com. Kasey, have you had success, like I said, with the Xfinity and the Truck Series? Are there any other drivers in the Cup Series that you think would be successful in this track? Who would be the ones to watch if the Cup Series would run here?
At this track?
Yes, at Rockingham.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of them. It's hard to say, but I mean, I think I don't know, you just look kind of at who ran up front at Darlington, they'd all be really strong here, or Bristol, or really any of the tracks. Like those guys are very good at what they do, so they would be very good here. So, right away, straight away, it'd be good. And I think the Cup cars might put on a really good show here too. Be interesting how that would play out. But yeah, I think this could be a pretty neat place for that.
Thank you.
What type of things do you want to see this weekend as far as A, your health, and B, kind of the way the car feels that would determine whether you want to do this again?
Yeah, I think to me, the biggest thing is just kind of feeling the car and how it works, in traffic and, at speed, racing, qualifying, just the whole process, the whole weekend, working with, you have a spotter, you're on the radios a lot. Like a lot of things are different than how they are with sprint cars. So yeah, just kind of see how it all goes. But I feel like it's going to go pretty good. I've done this a lot over the years. So yeah, just looking forward to that side of it. And as far as my health, I'm in a good place right now. Because I don't do this all the time. I don't do the long races, the hot. It got worse as soon as the summer months came, and then every week after that was draining me those last couple of years I did it. So I think going into this is good. I saw 88 degrees. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Like I'm looking forward to that. I'm fine with it. Other people called and were like, can you do it? I'm like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It'll be fun.